I got it.
I had to social session.
I was out early. All right, we're here today on a regularly scheduled meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Court, 10th day of November, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. We do have a quorum present. We'll go ahead and open up with a prayer and our pledge. Stand. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We praise you for this day, Lord, and we praise you for the blessings you continually pour out upon us, even though we're so undeserving, Lord. Lord, we pray for wisdom and discernment around this table as we make decisions, Lord. Guide us. We love you and we praise you. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the text of my land. I pledge allegiance to the text, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Right. How are you this morning, Commissioner?
Well, a little chillier than I was last Monday, but we managed to get our work done on 1248 as best we could. We had to have 2 days of hauling to get enough asphalt on it to shore the edges up, but we got it done from 1240 all the way up to where the asphalt meets the gravel. That was kind of a last week project. Today we're out hauling rock and shredding blind corners.
Great, Commissioner.
Hauling rock, trying to still knock some weeds down, got some culverts to start changing out. Something to do every day.
Well, Yoder has got the bridge in place for the deck on Wednesday morning, so hopefully we'll have that 3150 north back with the first next week. And that project got
We were winding up a road that got paved as to gravel, so we should wind it up today.
Sheriff?
Everything's going good over there, and MA Council on 137 this morning. We had a pretty busy weekend, but no complaints, no gripes.
Philip?
We had a vendor come out last week and install a couple of new camera servers, one at the courthouse and one at the EOC, to convert everything to digital watchdog and try to consolidate, because we have multiple platforms and we're trying to streamline. On top of that, we're doing a lot of Axon work, partially for the sheriff's office and also for all 4 constables. They're all Constable 2 is already on this song, but 1, 3, and 4 converted to Axon. Setting up some video tagging system for the sheriff's office for their Axon videos. So do a lot of Axon work.
Awesome. Miss Susan?
I'm just trying to wrap up end of the year and we'll get things ready for the new years.
Ms. Parker?
Just the same excuse I wrapped up the prior year, looking forward to this new year. I'm ordering WQs so it's moving very quickly, it's approaching. We're still getting a lot of invoices for the prior year, so you'll still see some of those coming through. I hope to have an expenditure for report later this week after we process the accounts payable, so you have some more firm numbers. Other than that, just business as well.
Awesome. Emergency management?
hopefully they'll be on the side of the by the end of the month. We'll get there next week to finish. We'll probably do it this week, but they push it out next week. The shut the last parts there instead of sidewalk. So finish that during the storm. Last week we pull that. We thought it was in storm very small. Transfer switch from 2008 is still in service, so there's a ready tower. Had a pickup. Well, there's a company that came out with that 5 million for the people that's much cheaper than was originally proposed. Outside of that, Thursday, class, another little class of the DSC for certified officials. That are required to pay we signed the board. Need you tell us what? Outside of that, this is usual, I'm very glad to back in vacation tomorrow. There you go.
Definitely one of those when he's gone, you feel it for sure. Development service.
Nothing new to report out, everything else new.
Constables?
Precinct two, papers, say thank you to the IZ office, they had lightning strike over there, took out our phones. Jacked up our internet, kind of makes it all pretty useless, we can't use it. They got it taken care of, got that back up, relocated some lines for us. We're moving on.
Awesome.
What is it?
The phone?
Back to Scotty's bridge situation, looks like the guy who wrecked on his bridge was uninsured, so. I did talk to the trooper that investigated that, he's gonna issue the guy another citation for not having insurance, and then I'm planning to talk to. State DPS to see if we can get his DOT pulled, he's just interstate, he's not interstate, but he doesn't need to be driving, he has insurance.
As far as my office, we had delegate of Mongolian judges and attorneys come in yesterday. We hosted them. They really are very interested in the way that we do the justice system. Being as we are the only ones that do it the way we do, it's specifically Texas, not just the American justice system. So that was pretty cool to see them. They had lots of questions. And take some time because we were talking through the entire time, so it was very interesting. I think that's it for us. Go ahead and move to open forum. Do we have anybody here to speak on open forum today? Anybody online? Nobody online? All right, we'll go ahead and move to the consent agenda. This is gonna be action on minutes, invoices, payroll, monthly reports for revenue and disbursement, and observer report any elected officials training certificates.
Thanks, say it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion cancels. All right, we have no business for number one, so we'll move to number two, observe and or record the Hill County CPS Board Treasurer's Report for October 2025. Motion
Say it.
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, number three, observe and or record Hill County CPS Board Income and Expense Report for the fiscal year October 2024 through September 2025. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, number four, discuss interaction regarding adding CASA of Hill County to our juror donation list. Come forward, please. It's Ms. Gardner from CASA.
Morning.
How are you?
Good, how are y'all?
Good.
It just was
Thank you.
brought to my attention by a CASA advocate that we were not on the juror funds list. And that is one of the things that a lot of CASA programs are a part of for jurors to elect to donate their juror pay to select nonprofits. We do qualify the nonprofit who serves victims of crime. And so I do have our IRS standing information, just in case y'all need to verify all of that. But we are requesting that we be added to that list, just as an opportunity to earn some funds for our program.
As you gentlemen probably already know, there's multiple nonprofits that you can donate your juror pay to if you'd like. You can take it, or you can donate to various different nonprofits. They're asking me added to that list.
Make a motion to add them to the list.
Right, motion in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Number five, discuss interaction on certification of revenue. Susan?
Brought one today, it was some insurance money that's certified. Or senior, this was on the property and a little more on the sheriff some supplemental claims on the sheriff. For 22,696, but 344,000 was for building repairs, mostly the jail. And includes some to some other buildings. I don't think I brought that schedule. This is from the May storm.
So one that took out a couple of the stained glass windows over here that we have yet to get repaired, and then some damage at the exhibits building.
Oh, I do have it here. Yes, we have 32,000. This is what Pat paid us, 32,000 for the courthouse. About 5,000 for the courthouse annex, just rounding 20,000 for the museum. Support services was right at 2,000, jail 262,000. The fairgrounds, they had $88,620, and then less than 1,000 on a few other buildings. We did have some on precinct 2, which I transferred that money to you, 52402. And I think that was, I wasn't sure on the Huron, it was $814. And I wasn't sure, Jim, if that was for you or that was all of your.
I think it was from the JP building.
The JP
We
building.
didn't have any damages.
Okay. Anyway, it was $50,000 deductible. This is for the non-aesthetic damages. We had some aesthetic damages that we haven't really that are available to us, but we haven't really met with them, or I don't know if you have, Judge. Anyway, that's what the insurance certification, but that's what the certification of revenue is.
I believe they're coming by Thursday to have some more discussion.
Okay.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 6 is discuss interaction on budget amendments.
We're taking that certification of revenue and putting it to just putting all the repairs for the structures in the non-departmental insurance line. 344,837, 22,696 for the sheriff, and 18,203 for the museum. It's the first amendment. Then the second amendment was for clearance and balance. Courthouse maintenance went over budget, and we used some money from non-departmental to balance that out, as did the tax office. They had 4,500 in postage that was supposed to go to fiscal year 214. So when it was in 15, it messed them up. Plus their software, the Harris government had gone up on the software or caused them to have an extra payment that they hadn't had previously. So it's a long line. I guess you have that in front of you. Anyway, we're crediting the things that were under budget and moving those monies to make the funds balance out. Excuse me, that's my phone. And autopsy went over again, our total autopsy, so forth, cremation was 182,000 this year. 160 wasn't enough to cover it. The next budget amendment is at the first of the year. I guess the treasurer and I were going to share an employee, and that got changed after the first of the year. And so we had to fix the funds between us so that to account for that person's salary and benefits. And we had a small change in the court at law, the way I figured that previously. This just makes it work out for the budget. So we're adjusting $57. Then Road and Bridge 3, we were just adjusting some items there. Construction materials, moving those to contract service, bonds and insurance, utilities, and FM lateral. Precinct 3, taking some money out of bridge infrastructure and moving that to contract service, bonds and insurance. That's all that I have today.
Make a motion approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8. Is discuss and or approve action regarding. Hold on one second. What's that? Oh, encumbrance, oh, I checked the wrong one. Number 7, discuss and or action regarding encumbrance funds and assigning fund balances.
So these were, all in all, we're still getting some final numbers, but we're over $1.5 million, for general fund. Expenditures were less than budgeted. Now, a good deal of that money is the sheriff. In total, we have like 787,000 that they had saved over their budget. And so we're encumbering the sheriff vehicles and upfits and radio that we've discussed multiple times, but this is the formal action on that. They had some open purchase orders of 11,885. Then the vehicles themselves for 10 vehicles, that includes the decal, the upfit, the floor mats was $705,061. I went ahead, emergency management. We needed 26,240 on his vehicle, so go ahead and encumber that. And then Chris brought to y'all last week the trailer sign, the radio, and the bed covers was 28,250. The treasurer, her shredder died and she needed a better shredder, plus the Panini that runs the checks through and some scanners. She had leftover funds, so we were going to encumber 10,300 for those items, large ticket items. Constable 3, the vehicle upfit was 15,980, and the prepaid maintenance package we approved was 3,950. And then we had left his Axon package for the 2 law enforcement officers. Those weren't included in the budget anywhere. That was $17,061. The fairground bathroom project, 34,000. I failed to get that in our original budget. And then this 344,837 in insurance money that we received. We know we're going to spend that on getting the jail roof, particularly, and these other expenditures. So that's $1,197,564 for the general fund. And I had, let me go ahead and finish this. Precinct 1 had ordered a cold planer that came in just after the end of the year, so we've added that for 35,000. Precinct 2, Chevy pickup that we ordered that they lost it or something. Anyway, we finally got that straightened out for 55,920. Precinct 3 has some recycled asphalt project going on for 150,000. Then precinct 4, we had ordered a trailer. We have a purchase order that we're waiting for the trailer to come in for 61,141. FM lateral one had a drum roller and broom of 203,388. And precinct 3 has this large bridge project.
Hey, Susan, that number on
185,000.
the drum roller and the broom, that's overstated significantly. The broom was 75,000 and the drum roller was 38.
Do I have that wrong? Which is.
And that cold planer actually came in the middle of the summer. Actually, I bought that in June and it was delivered in June. We need to check that number too, make sure that's right, because that seems a little.
Well, I had drum roller. I don't know. Had 127,620, but that's too much. The broom was 75,768. Maybe I transferred my number here.
Jen, is that roller from the Everett?
No, that was the broom.
That was the broom. That was 51,052.
I just made your number.
Yeah. The broom was 75.
You know what company it was about?
That was the RB Everett with the broom.
Okay. Both of them from Everett is what he's.
Okay, well, I apologize on that, Jim. I'll look at
I just
that.
want to make sure we get it all in the right hopper.
Yes, sir. Now, the cold planer was invoiced in October, but you took delivery in June.
That invoice came through long ago. I've had that cold planer for 4 months.
Well, the invoice, we didn't receive it till right at the end of the year. Well, we'll come back. Let's just strike those on precinct 1 and I'll get the correct numbers.
And that was.
And we'll bring that back.
For the RDO.
Right. Yeah, we had a hard time figuring out what that was on RDO because they don't put anything in plain English for, I just put part numbers on there. Okay, let's just strike the FM1 and we'll bring that back to court on the FM lateral one.
And let's check that number on the cold planer too, if you don't mind.
So do you want to strike that one as well?
Just
Okay,
so we get confirmation on it.
can do. All right.
So I'll entertain a motion with the corrections that we've just made.
Say.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I was gonna add that I had talked to Shane and there might be some additional projects. Last year, we did these encumbrances in March. I was just trying to go ahead and get them taken care of, mainly because we had so much that we were setting aside for the sheriff vehicles, so we kind of felt like we needed to go ahead and get those. So if there's some other projects that we want to encumber for the year, we can do so.
Thank you.
So we'll bring these back for precinct 1 after we review those figures, and I apologize.
No worries.
Okay.
All right, we'll move to number 8. Discuss interaction regarding John Crossan as designated representative. The court needs to formally recognize Mr. Crossan as the designated representative for OSSF operations. That's what this motion does.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This next one's number 9, discuss interaction on tidal wave contract for development services. This is for development services, tidal wave, not to exceed $29.97 per month. And it will be charged to the Hill County credit card. This is for one vehicle ending in the VIN number 6427. Motion, second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Number 10 is discuss interaction on nominees for the Hill County Appraisal Board of Directors. I received an email in reference to the Hill County nominees for Board of Directors for the appraisal district. We get a vote and it's weighted based off of tax levy percentages. There are no other nominees than the ones that are already sitting on the boards. But I have to get y'all's approval before we,
So what happens to the existing board?
should we not vote at all, they'll still retain their seats.
Okay, so we vote and then that changes over that.
Correct. But there's no new nominees at this time. The nominees are Don Ford, Eugene Fulton, John Sawyer, Roberta Skelton, and Robert Tipton. We have 1,326 votes to cast.
Then last year, we just divide that by however many there were. And give everybody the same amount, that way we didn't.
Yes, sir. You're not, yes, sir. That was gonna be my suggestion, is we just
split it
divide it
up.
by 5.
Yeah. Make a motion to accept.
Motion, one second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Need that one back. All right. Number 11, discuss interaction on memorandum of understanding between Texas Division of Emergency Management and Texas Emergency Managers and Assistant Teams Participating Jurisdiction as employer. Mr. Jackson, what does that mean?
Simple terms, the county did one a long time ago, this is just renewing it. But if the state ever wants to use us in a disaster area outside of our county, then without that, we can't get paid money back for our contract. If it's not required, they can ask us and say, hey, you want to go? We can say, yep. Well, then the moment we leave our county, we start accruing state dollars. And then, but we can always say, no, we don't have to go. They can't force us, they can't mandate us to go anywhere, but that way we get money back if it's a state disaster.
Make a motion.
Second. Motion in a second.
You seen this? Good go.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, Judge, that one is each side. So you don't have to fill everything.
Okay, all sign it. Number 12, discuss interaction on contracting professional consultants to update the Hill County Emergency Operations Plan. Mr. Jackson also submitted a brief to the report in reference to this. I don't know if you guys have had time to review that brief. What basically has happened is after Lieutenant Jackson taking over the emergency management position, he was reviewing our emergency operations plan for the county. This is different from the hazard mitigation plan. The current emergency operations plan is lacking, to say the least. There are many things that are not in the plan that you would assume should be. Flood instances, if a dam were to rupture, we might have one of those, 2 of those in the county. None of those are addressed in our current plan. The state is taking emergency management very seriously after the floods incur, and this could be a big problem should we have any type of emergency that our emergency operation plan is not covering. So there are a couple of options that Lieutenant Jackson has presented to us in this brief. One option is we try to do it ourselves, which is not recommended in any way, shape, or form. The other option is to contract with some companies. We've looked at, I'll let Lieutenant Jackson speak to those companies and those options, if you will.
So there's 2 companies, and it was just one of those research and reach out type things. There's 2 companies. One is EM Partners. They're based out of state, but they do have Texas employees that are in Texas. And then there's another company called TRC. TRC has a Houston office, but they're based out of another state as well. They both offer similar things. One is about $15,000 cheaper than the other. The one thing that I didn't put on there is We have to do something. No action really isn't, an option. Because the state requires us to have these in every jurisdiction in our county, just like the hazard mitigation plan rides them. So every city in the county adopts our emergency plans. So it's not just if something happens in unincorporated areas that we have to worry about. We wrote the plan or had someone write the plan back in 2008, and every city adopted it. What really brought this to light was actually I had a question from the city of Hillsborough saying, hey, what's our emergency plan for a flood? Well, it mentions flood. They're going to talk about what you do with flood. But so EM Partners and TRC, the big difference between them is EM Partners says in their proposal that they will come on site essentially as many times as we want them to. TRC is 100% virtual. TRC is a much bigger, say, corporation. They're a bigger company. EM Partners is much more mom and pop type company. They have a decent amount of employees, but they're smaller full-time base. They've both been very receptive. They both have answered questions. Just gonna personally say EM Partners is the cheaper one. But I'm all about the in-person visits. I understand virtual is important to save money. But ironically, they'll come here more and they're the cheaper one. Neither one of them, this is a cheap endeavor. It's expensive. It's unbudgeted. It's expensive.
I knew that was gonna be our first question. So this is something that I was gonna discuss, or I vaguely mentioned to Ms. Susan about encumbering funds from last year's budget to cover, so it does not affect this year's budget. I think this would be a very appropriate use of that. And we have to have it.
I talked with the Hillsborough mayor Friday afternoon, I believe, and I think we were talking about you had a $20,000 figure in there for reimbursement from Hillsborough, is that right?
That's for something different,
Oh, that's something different.
but yes.
But it's related. The city of Hillsborough, I think we can discuss it. It's very well. The city of Hillsborough has requested that Lieutenant Jackson be their emergency management as well. With a $20,000 reimbursement fee is the number that's being talked about at this time.
Oh, he's worth way more than that.
He is worth way more than that.
Yes, I'm not sure that number's.
It's not set to discuss.
That number hasn't been discussed with any of the
The
city.
20,000 is something different. Can you explain what that's for?
So the $20,000 is the. I'm gonna preface that none of this has been discussed with the city leadership yet.
Right.
That is what we were gonna ask them. It is for them to pay the county, but it can be for basically whatever. We just determine it to be. Yes, it could be used to help offset this, but then next year it could be used to buy equipment, then the next year after that it could be used on something else. But we don't know what that dollar amount's gonna be yet.
We're still gonna negotiate.
And that would not only apply to the city of Hillsborough, but the other municipalities as well.
Well, we've slightly discussed that we would offer the same to them. I'm proposing we base it on a population
Yeah, it'd have to be per capita, right?
and base it off of percentage. So whatever number we come up with the city of Hillsborough being the largest municipality, we would then do some math and
Right,
prorate
prorate
to
that.
their population and probably have a floor. It's never gonna be under X amount, but depending on population is what you would pay.
So one thing I'll say with that is, while I love the idea, I support it, I agree with it, I think it makes sense. Especially when we have all the small cities, but the one thing I will say is the moment we pull that trigger and we. Offer it to all these other cities, and I think you will have a bunch accept it. You're gonna have some that are gonna be resistant, that want to keep things in their town, but. You're gonna see me coming right back in and asking for the system, because it's one thing just to run the rural areas of the county. And you have stuff like that, another thing, add Hillsborough. But you talk about adding, 15, 16, 17 other jurisdictions into that mix, that's just not something one person can do for the entire county. That would require us to add a position to.
So have you given that some thought?
As much as it's been talked about in the last 5 days, yes.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Should have an org chart.
That has, this has been encompassing all my time for the most part, is finding this, reading it, blowing up Mr. Holmes's email, trying to give him as much time as possible to review things, but yes, it's been thought about, but thought about.
And these are not ideas that are new to just Hill County. McLennan County operates this way as well. So it's not, we're not reinventing the wheel at all.
And I'll also say on that token, so it was something that the legislator tried to put in, they did not meet the deadline and it died before going to the governor's desk, I think it was. They actually were going to make it law.
Mandated.
Requiring rural
That'll
counties
come up next.
to
next
go
session.
down to one emergency management coordinator because of COVID.
So like I said, it's big on the radar, as it should be.
Kerr County has officially, they have gone with where the emergency management is under the sheriff's office too. So we were well ahead of that, with what we did. So I think what the decision there was a good move. It limits the amount of people that are trying to make decisions for one disaster. Get information out is the big thing and not depend on one person that may not answer the phone. That's kind of what happened. So it was that thing. So we'll be on.
When you get your app up and running, that'll be.
We got a meeting Wednesday, so I'll get y'all a hard date.
So I'm with you on the in-person analysis. I don't know how you do that virtually.
So that's the biggest thing. So between both companies, they both agreed of working with each jurisdiction and then each leg of public safety. So they're gonna meet with fire departments, they're gonna meet with law enforcement, they're gonna meet with commissioners, they're gonna meet with everyone to try to make sure they get every location. Cause I mean, I can write on a scratch paper just the 5 or 6 most dangerous locations in the county that aren't identified in our plan right now and how we respond to them and or what you're not supposed to do when you go to them. I.e. with Dyna Energetics on fire, you just stand at the gate and you wait. But they both agree to come out and talk to everyone. The biggest thing in here as well is something that we have to do in the near future. So the state's about to, we don't know when, it could be tomorrow, it could be 6 months, it could be next year. They don't really tell us much other than we're going to, is convert. So right now the emergency plans are broke down into annexes. Well, they want to convert them to what's called ESFs, emergency support functions, to mirror the federal government. So that way, from the local level all the way to the federal government, the language we speak is the exact same. It's all the exact same language. That in itself is an undertaking of its own, not including just updating it. Well, now you have to update it and convert it to a completely different format and language and base it off of a book that's about this big. So yeah, the we can't do this as an understatement. I'm not a plan writer. I don't know anyone in the county that is.
I don't know if you guys have seen our emergency plan. I have a copy of it. Again, it hasn't been looked at in over 15 years, which is terrifying.
No, man, it is under $100,000 from each contractor or consultant, and they are both GSA.
So the plan, as he mentioned, it is massive.
I'm making a motion to take the people who will actually show up and sing it.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, so that would be approval of a contract between Hill County and Emergency Management Partners, LLC, EM Partners, for professional consultant services to update the Hill County Emergency Operations Plan. Is that the motion? And a second, any further discussion? And I guess that is with us encumbering funds from last year's budget to help pay for it. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
And you should have their contract in your.
Yes, sir. Should have to sign this. But let me see a signature. Lieutenant Jackson, we'll have to see. I've got their contract, but there's no place for me to sign it. So if we can get. All right, number 13, discuss interaction on setting a public hearing to install traffic control devices in the form of 30-mile-per-hour speed limit signs on County Road 1143.
That would be mine. Yeah, due to the solar farm traffic there, that is a ongoing public nuisance and safety concern. And should have done this last year. On both of. Whatever, which
46 and 43.
1143 comes off of 3049. Right there on the south side of the solar farm. And we need to slow those folks down.
Do you have a
Make a
date
motion.
that you would?
To set a public hearing. That has to be 37 to 30 days out.
Got to run on the paper a couple times.
Yeah, run it 2 weeks back to back. We can set that 30 days out. Or I think we could even set it 20 days ago.
December 10th would be 30 days out. So December 9th, December 2nd.
It's 35 miles an hour, so we can have
Say it again.
35 miles an hour. Is that
You
nothing?
can
Actually, it's 35 as low as you
No.
can go. By
you can,
state.
I read the code. And if there is a warranted reason for setting it below 35, you can set it below, you can set it to 15. That's how the school zones and some of the other signs you see around are 20 or 25. There was a reason that those were set. So there's not anything set in concrete at 35 miles an hour. As a minimum.
That's what I'd always heard. So
That's what
assumed it was right.
Lewis had always said that 35 is. low.
It's I'll get the.
But I don't have a problem with it. 30 is fine.
That's what we should.
Huh?
Don't have a problem with it, we just wanna make sure we respect it.
No, yeah, no, I got you.
Then it don't come back and they can fight
That
it.
one, that one.
But no,
54, 545.355 is the authority for that. And it does say 30 miles.
What date you want? What date do you want to set?
I think we could set it on the 2nd. If you wanted to meet on the 2nd, if we did 9th would be our first. Regular scheduled meeting. You do it on the 9th.
So I'll read the code just so we're clear. The Commissioners Court of County may declare a lower speed limit of not less than 30 miles per hour on a county road or highway to which this section applies if the Commissioners Court determines that the prima facie speed limit on the road or highway is unreasonable or unsafe.
The 9, you said?
That's the one.
That's the rule.
So 12 and 9. Nice, the first commission. Yep,
Is that okay?
sounds good.
So I make a motion, we have a public hearing on that.
Make a motion to set a public hearing for set traffic control devices on 8. So Johnny, make it?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
So is that your second? Yeah. That's
What he
second. Okay. Second. Any further discussion?
Thanks, Scott.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, discuss interaction on setting a public hearing to install traffic control devices in the form of 30 miles per hour speed limit sign on 1146
Same.
on December 9th, 2025.
Motion. Set a public
Motion in the second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, number 15, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, an executive closed session will be held so the Commissioners Court can seek and receive legal advice from its attorneys regarding pending threatening litigation, settlement offers, claims, or other matters for which the attorney's duties to their client under the Texas State Bar disciplinary rules of professional conduct conflicts with the Open Meetings Act, ongoing litigation against ICE Construction for faulty construction of Agri-Lac building.